Dear viewers, this story of Allah Ta'ala's power will shake your very soul. How Allah granted a simple goat the ability to speak, and how that mute animal suddenly began testifying against a murderous woman. But the story did not end with the testimony. What followed left the entire village in complete shock. The goat spoke. "I saw who buried the child alive." The whole village was stunned. 10 years later, a 12-year-old girl appeared near that same grave. Was she the same child once thought dead? If so, where had she been all these years? Who saved her? This isn't just a story. It is a powerful lesson in patience, justice, and truth. So come, let us listen to this enlightening tale till the very end. In a small village stood an old shabby hut. Abdullah lived there with his 2 wives. His first wife, Shania, had been with him for many years, but fate had deprived them of children. She always tried to stay cheerful, but deep inside, she was lonely. Abdullah's mother, longing for a grandchild, eventually arranged a second marriage for her son. This marriage wasn't with the daughter of a wealthy family or a noble lineage, but with a simple, kind-hearted orphan girl named Alna. She had neither parents nor any shelter, just a goat that had been her childhood companion. That goat came with her as part of her dowry. Alina was only 18 years old, with a radiant innocence on her face. But when she arrived at her husband's home, Shania never accepted her wholeheartedly. She constantly taunted her, belittled her with chores, and hurt her with bitter words. Yet Alina endured it all in silence. Whenever her heart broke, she would hug her goat and quietly wipe her tears. A few months later, Allah blessed Alina with the news of a child. Abdullah was overjoyed. Sweets were distributed across the village. Abdullah offered prayers of gratitude and thanked Allah. But Shania's heart burned with jealousy. She began to hate Alina even more. Still, Alina remained the symbol of patience. After 9 months, Allah granted them a beautiful baby girl named Anaya. Their home was filled with light and happiness. Abdullah's love for Anaya knew no bounds. Seeing this, Shania's heart burned from within. She began to detest Alina's happiness and the baby's innocent laughter. One night, while Abdullah was away on urgent work in the city, Shania decided to do something so horrific that it would shame all humanity. The village was fast asleep. Silently, Shania entered Alina's room. Alina was sleeping with her innocent baby Anaya beside her. With trembling hands, Shania picked up Anaya, wrapped her in a shawl, and slipped out of the house. Carrying Anaya in her arms, she ran toward the forest. A dark night, a deserted path, and a terrifying plan in her heart. Under the thick trees, she began digging a hole. Hatred had blinded her. And then, she did something no mother could even imagine. She threw Anaya into the pit and covered it with soil, as if the child had never existed. Shania, satisfied with her horrific act, quietly returned home. She had no idea that Alina's faithful goat, Noori, had secretly followed her into the forest. With innocent eyes, Noori had witnessed a scene that would terrify even a human. With the first light of dawn, Alina awoke. Her heart trembled with an unknown fear. She looked around, but her beloved daughter Anaya was not on the bed. A terrible scream escaped her throat. "Anaya, my love, where are you?" Alina's cries echoed through the house. Shania sat beside her, shedding fake tears, offering false comfort. Just then, Abdullah returned from the city. Chaos erupted in the village. People went out in groups, searching in the forest, fields, and riverbanks. But there was no sign of Anaya. No innocent crying, no trace. Days passed like this. Alina was shattered. Every day, she sat beside Noori the goat and cried, saying, "Noori, look, our baby is gone. Some cruel soul took her away and I couldn't do anything." Noori sat silently, tears in her eyes, as if she felt the pain even deeper than a human. Abdullah still loved Alina. Every day, he consoled her. "Have patience, Alina. Our Anaya will surely return." But Shanaya's heart was still burning with jealousy. Her devilish nature began spewing more venom. She paid some immoral men and said, "Spread rumors about Alina." Whispers filled the village alleys. Surely Alina had an affair with some man. That's why her child went missing. These toxic words finally reached Abdullah. A shadow of doubt crept into his mind. Now he began to get irritated and angry at Alina over everything. Eventually, one day, village gossip, misunderstandings, and wickedness took over, and Abdullah drove Alina out of the house. Crying, devastated, Alina walked toward the open field. A crowd from the village followed behind. Some mocked her, some cursed, others threw dirt at her. Alina looked toward the sky, her lips trembling, but her tongue was silent. And with her was only one companion, her goat, Noori. At that moment, Noori suddenly made a strange, thunderous cry. So powerful, so deep, the entire village froze. And then Noori began to speak. "Bear witness, O people. It was Shanaya who buried Anaya alive. I saw it with my own eyes. Alina is innocent. She is pure. The real culprit is Shanaya." Silence fell. Every eye turned to Shanaya in shock, regret, and shame. Her face had gone pale. Abdullah's patience snapped. He slapped Shanaya hard and roared, "Tell me the truth! Where did you leave my daughter?" Now Shanaya was burning in the fire of remorse. She wept bitterly and confessed, "I buried her under an old tree in the forest." Abdullah, Alina, and the villagers ran madly toward that forest. But what they saw there was heartbreaking. The grave was open, but the child was not inside. Everyone stood stunned. Abdullah and Alina collapsed to the ground, weeping uncontrollably. They became certain perhaps a wild animal had taken Anaya. And then, the only sound echoing through the forest was, "Anaya, Anaya, my love, where are you?" In response, only the silence of the forest. A silence that tore through Alina's soul. Many days passed in that same restlessness, pain and sorrow. One day, an elderly saintly man came to the village. His spiritual presence brought a calm fragrance to the atmosphere. Abdullah, who had divorced Shanaya as punishment for her crime, was now living with his broken yet pure love. Alina. They both sat at the feet of the elder. Abdullah's voice trembled, his eyes filled with tears. He said, "Babaji, our daughter Anaya is lost. Every moment we suffer in the pain of her separation. Our life is now filled with only patience, loneliness, and helplessness. Will we ever find our daughter again? Please pray for us." The elder remained silent for a while and closed his eyes. He was sitting under the same tree where this sorrowful tale had begun. The air was still. Alina's eyes were filled with pools of tears, and Abdullah's chest throbbed with anxious anticipation. After some time, the elder opened his eyes. His voice held divine calm and a thunder of truth. He said, "Listen, son, you will surely find your daughter, but everything has its appointed time. Allah is testing you. Your daughter is here, in this forest, under Allah's protection. but you will only see her 10 years from now, when she turns 12. Abdullah and Alina looked at each other with bewildered, helpless eyes. The elder continued, "Remember, this tree, this place, 10 years from now, if you see a 12-year-old girl playing beneath this tree, know that she is your daughter. No matter how much you search or call for her now, you will not find her. She is in this forest, in Allah's care, but hidden from your eyes." Hearing this, Alina began to cry loudly. Both of them lowered their heads and submitted to Allah's decree. From that day on, Alina began visiting that tree every day with her loyal goat Noori. Sometimes she would sit there for hours, lost in her daughter's memories. Sometimes silently praying, sometimes spreading her arms to the wind, as if embracing Anaya in her thoughts. Abdullah would often sit there too, his eyes wet with tears, looking toward the sky and whispering, "O Allah, grant us the reward of our patience." Time passed. 1 day, 1 month, 1 year, until 10 full years had gone by. Now Alina's face had fine lines, and the sun and toil had bent her back slightly. But her heart still glowed with love and hope for Anaya. One morning, Alina rose, took Noori with her, and sat again beneath that same tree, where the footprints of love and longing remained for years. Time moved on. Suddenly, Alina's eyes widened with shock. A beautiful 12-year-old girl was running toward the tree, laughing joyfully. Alina's heart began pounding, but the girl locked eyes with Alina. She stopped. Tears shimmered in her eyes, and she turned to walk away. Alina trembled and called out, "Child, wait! Who are you? What are you doing alone in this forest?" The girl turned and answered innocently, "I live here with my father. We have a small hut not far from here." Alina's heart pounded even harder. She remembered the words of the saintly elder. She stepped forward to take the girl in her arms, but suddenly the girl turned and ran into the forest. She ran as if an invisible force had seized her. A heart-wrenching cry escaped Alina's lips. "Anaya, my love, at least hear me. Please stop." But the girl ran as if she belonged to another world. In Alina's eyes was only her daughter's face, those innocent eyes, that beloved smile. Suddenly, Alina slipped and fell hard to the ground. Her face was covered in dirt, but the pain of separation was so deep that she ignored the injury and stood up again. With trembling legs, she began running. As she entered deeper into the forest, an eerie silence surrounded her. Everywhere was stillness, silence wrapped in every shadow. And when the girl was nowhere to be seen, Alina sat beneath the tree and began beating her chest, crying uncontrollably. Her cries held such sorrow that even the soul would tremble. In that silence, echoes of the old man's voice rang out. "That girl will be your daughter when she turns 12. She will appear beneath this tree." When Alina returned, Abdullah was standing near the tree, restless. Worry clouded his eyes. "What happened, Alina? Why are you so unsettled?" With a tearful voice, Alina said, "I saw her, Abdullah. Our Anaya, she was there. That 12-year-old girl. Just like the old man said, it all came true." Light lit up in Abdullah's eyes. "Then what are we waiting for?" he said, with enthusiasm. "Our daughter is alive, and now we must bring her back. Alina, just as you have shown patience all these years, now you must be brave too. Tomorrow morning, we will set out again. We'll find that hut the girl mentioned." Meanwhile, the girl who had run back to her hut was breathless. Her innocent face had turned pale with fear. Baba, I want to tell you something," she called out in a trembling voice. An old man came out of the hut. His eyes were kind, his smile full of affection. "What is it, my dear?" "Baba, today I saw a woman in the forest. She called me her daughter. I ran away in fear." "You always told me never to talk to strangers." The old man lovingly placed his hand on her head and said, "Well done, my girl. You are very brave. You are my righteous and wise daughter." But inside, the old man's face had turned grim. His heart was in turmoil. What? Have her real parents really come looking for her? No, I won't give her back. She is my daughter. I saved her, raised her. Now she is my life. The next morning, with the first ray of the sun, Abdullah and Alina set out again into the forest. They searched through every thorny bush, every small stream, every trail. "Anaya, my daughter, look, your mother is here." Each cry was swallowed in silence, yet their eyes held no despair, only a radiant hope. But the hut the girl spoke of was nowhere to be found. The sun began to set again. A whole day's search was turning into quiet failure. Alina's eyes filled with tears once more. But this time, they held no despair, only fierce determination. "No, I will not give up. Our Anaya is here, and I will find her." The next morning, holding on to hope, they set out once again. And just a little ahead, a sight stopped them in their tracks. In front of them stood an elderly man, one hand holding a travel bag, the other holding the hand of an innocent little girl. As soon as Alina saw the girl, she exclaimed, "Abdullah, this is our Anaya." Alina and Abdullah ran toward the elder in excitement. "Sir, we have something very important to tell you. This girl is ours, our lost daughter." The elder looked at them with a hard gaze, as if a storm was raging inside his heart. "What are you saying? This girl is my daughter. How can she be yours?" Their faces shifted with anxiety and hesitation. Abdullah stepped forward and said, "I beg you in the name of Allah, please listen to us." Then, with a trembling voice, he began telling the whole story. 10 years ago, my second wife buried our daughter alive. When we returned to the forest, there was nothing there. Later, an old man told us, 10 years from then, we would find our daughter under that tree. And today, that same girl was there. She is our Anaya. Hearing this, the elder fell silent for a few moments. It was as if the sky had descended into his eyes. With a sorrowful smile, he began to weep. No, I won't give her up. She is my daughter. If you were truly her own, you would never have left her in a grave. I saved her life, raised her, gave her love. Now she is mine." Abdullah and Alina knelt on the ground, hearts overwhelmed, and pleaded, "Sir, this girl is your daughter too. You may come to see her whenever you wish. But please, don't separate us from our child. We have endured years of loneliness and pain. Allah has accepted our prayers. Please return our Anaya to us." For a few moments, the elder remained deep in thought. Then slowly, with tears in his eyes and softness in his voice, he said, "Yes, she is your daughter. But I loved her more than a daughter. I raised her with my heart, nurtured her with my blood." Abdullah and Alina thanked him with voices full of gratitude and then embraced their Anaya. That moment was no ordinary one. It was the reward for patience, the answer to prayer, and the reunion of broken hearts. Their faces shone with the light of joy, relief, and thankfulness. The entire village was stunned. Those who had once slandered Alina now stood before her patience, purity, and love with their heads bowed. Allah had rewarded their patience. They had found their anaya again. Dear viewers, patience and faith are a person's greatest weapons. Separation is never forever. When prayers come from the heart, even the impossible becomes possible. With Allah's mercy, even the lost are reunited once more.